Welcome to the Missing Truth, Allyson Watterson's disappearance. In a field of roses, she was a wild flower. I thought of this quote as I listened to Misty Watterson speak about her daughter Allyson during an interview. Allyson is a free spirit. She loves animals and humanity. She's an advocate for people who are less fortunate, and whenever she saw someone in need or was being bullied, she would jump right in to help, her mother has stated as she was reminiscing back before December 23rd, 2019, the day her beautiful, empathetic flower child did not return home. What happened in the cold, dark, remote Oregon wilderness in the hours before Allyson Watterson was reported missing? This is Allyson's story through the eyes of strangers. Allyson Joy Watterson grew up around Hillsboro, Oregon. Allyson had been living at home in Hillsboro with her mother, father, and brother. Her mother said Allyson was in between jobs and was planning on doing some traveling with friends over the next year. She's a typical healthy 20-year-old. She loves being with her friends, and friends were plentiful in Allyson's life, her mother has said. Her beautiful outlook on life and her compassion for mankind made her beauty radiate from within. Like a light, she was lighting the path for those who had lost their way in life. Her beautiful bohemian flair hid the darker side, the struggling side, that is. Allyson had debilitating anxiety due to her neurological disorder. Allyson had Tourette's syndrome, accompanied by obsessive-compulsive disorder. Unfortunately, as many others, Allyson chose to self-medicate, which led her to addiction. With help from her mother, Allyson was overcoming her addiction when she had disappeared. Allyson met Benjamin Garland in high school, but had reconnected with him in the recent months and had been dating one another. During this time, Allyson had confided in her mother, Misty, that Ben had a drug addiction, and she wanted to break relationships off with him, but she never did. On Friday, December 20th, this is the day Allyson's family was last in contact with her, and this is the day that changed so many lives. Misty said Allyson left that day around 4 p.m. She was going to go hang out with some friends. Misty kept in contact with Allyson via messenger, but other sources say Ben and Allyson went to a friend's house in North Plains for a party. They stayed there overnight and throughout much of the day. It is worth noting that Misty was not aware of where they were heading. It wasn't until Allyson went missing that the pieces were all put together. On Saturday, December 21st, Misty said Allyson checked in with her a couple of times that day. On Sunday morning, approximately 1:30 a.m., Allyson's phone is somewhere with Wi-Fi. The location is not known, as Allyson's phone backs up to iCloud at this time. 7 o'clock a.m., Allyson and Ben were at a fire station on 25th Avenue in Hillsboro, Fire Station 5. They rang the bell on the door and interacted with a fire crew there and asked to use the phone. They told the crew they were robbed and needed to make a call. The fire crew lets them in. They use the phone, but the crew felt something was off, so they called the police. Police arrived at the scene and interviewed Allyson. She is on body cam, as the family has reviewed and agreed it was Allyson. Ben indicated he does not wish to talk to law enforcement. No crime had been committed, so law enforcement does not interview him. Unfortunately, they missed the opportunity to take Ben into custody at this time due to the fact he has had many outstanding warrants against him. Ben did make a phone call to his mother, and as law enforcement arrived to the fire station, So did Ben's mom. This was not reported to Misty until a day or two into the initial search efforts when the body cam is shown to her and a few selective others. 7:30 a.m., Ben and Allyson are dropped off near Winco by Ben's mom. It's believed it was the Winco near Cornelius Pass Road. Based on events, it's assumed this is where the red truck is acquired. Whether it was stolen from there or stashed near there, it is not known. At 8:30 a.m., Allyson sent her mother a text via Facebook Messenger. The device used is unknown due to the fact Allyson's phone was broken during these time of events. She texted her mother, Good. I spent the night at the house where Ben stays, and I'll be home tonight. Where does Ben stay? And why doesn't Ben stay with his family? Is what my question is. 9:30 a.m., the picture that WCSO later releases of the red truck is taken at Jackson Quarry Road. The truck was assumedly taken to a known location on Collins Road, though it is possible that this was not the path they took, as this is merely guesswork and putting pieces together. If they did go there, it is a short walk through some wooded terrain to arrive on Shipley Road, which leads to Pumpkin Ridge. The truck could have been taken up Pumpkin Ridge and stashed and then moved later on. A neighbor does indicate his wife had seen the red pickup at the property on Collins Road, and also that WCSO had been up there earlier. It is also known that the truck is taken from there by Ben on Monday, per a resident stating this was driven off where it was later located at Ben's friend's house, where Ben was then taken into custody. With a lot of hours from the couple's last sighting to him being found in a different truck, there are numerous possibilities. Between 10:30 and 11 o'clock a.m., conflicting times have been given for the phone call, but it is all within the same time frame from Sally's house on Pumpkin Ridge. A FedEx driver in the area also confirms that she's seen them in the area around 11:05 a.m. A resident indicates that she offers to call police. They appeared to want to leave at that point. The resident then indicates when she noticed they wanted to leave after law enforcement was brought up, she told them they can use the phone and call who they needed to. She provides Allyson a glass of water and notes that Ben has no shoes on. The story they told the homeowner was that Allyson lost her shoes, so Ben had given his to her. The resident gave Ben a pair of slippers to wear. The resident indicates that Allyson appeared to be in shock and was muddy and all wet. Ben places a call to his grandmother and they leave shortly after. 11:25 a.m., the FedEx driver coming back down the hill sees them in the road around 18800 Pumpkin Ridge. This is the same area that a search team found a jacket placed over a fence that led into private property. The jacket that was found is a jacket was known Allyson was wearing due to a picture they had taken Friday, and it was later confirmed that the jacket belonged to Ben. At 11:45 a.m., Ben's grandmother drives up Pumpkin Ridge and interacts with a resident there. Ben's grandmother stated that Ben called stating that they had been in an accident on Old Pumpkin Ridge and needed a ride. As they are too far up the hill, the resident directs them back down towards Old Pumpkin Ridge roads and Pumpkin Ridge. At 11:51 a.m., Ben's grandmother is seen on a resident surveillance video turning around to go back down the hill. Later on a phone call from the jail, Ben tells Misty that they saw his grandmother looking for them, but they were too scared to stop her and get a ride. Why were they too scared? Did he not call his grandmother for a ride? The reason why they were scared was not specified. Remaining events of the day is unknown other than Ben's statements of what he had gave Misty, Allyson's mother. Ben told Misty in the phone call from jail that they walked for hours in the woods and Allyson got cold and tired and could not go no further. He said he became angry and left her there all alone. Why would a boyfriend leave his girlfriend in a cold, damp, wooded area is beyond me. I don't care how cold or tired she says she was. On Monday, December 23rd, 2019, at 6 o'clock a.m., Misty gets up for work and starts messaging Allison's friends to see if they've heard from her, as her message from Sunday indicated that she would be home that evening. Misty is concerned when she woke up that morning and doesn't find Allison at home. Misty messages Mrs. Garland, Ben's mom, asking if she has heard from the kids, but she was told no. Between 6 and 7 o'clock a.m., Ben is found in Ralph's pickup truck. Ralph describes him as being soaking wet. Ben indicates his friends left him outside and he needed somewhere to get dry and sleep. He does not mention Allison at all. Ralph then gives him a ride home. Later, during the phone call from jail, Ben tells Misty before arriving at Ralph's house he fell asleep in a blackberry bush for around 6 hours after parting ways with Allison, before arriving back at Ralph's house. At noon, Ben's dad arrives home and asks Ben where Allison was. After he tells his father that he left her in North Plains, Ben's father and sister allegedly go looking for Allison. At 1 o'clock p.m., Ben's mother messages Misty asking if she has heard anything from Allison. She does not mention that Ben has been home or the fact that he came home without her daughter. She also didn't mention her husband, Ben, and daughter had gone searching for Allison. At some point during the next few hours, Ben retrieves the stolen truck from Collins Road. The truck is eventually taken to his friend's house, where he is later arrested, and the truck is retrieved by WCSO. At 5:30 p.m., Ben's father finally decides to phone in a missing person report. It was 30 hours after Allison was last seen. Ben's father stated he believes Ben and Allison were hiking. Hiking and leaving your girlfriend is not how normal people hike. Ben and his father were hesitant to file a report because there were multiple outstanding warrants for Ben's arrest. And I don't care how many warrants anyone has, a young woman was left in those woods. Law enforcement should have been called immediately. 6 o'clock p.m., Misty gets a call at work to tell her that Allison has been reported missing. Only at this time, Misty is now aware that something is actually wrong. Family members make their way to North Plains and meet with WCSO, and at which time the searching begins. After receiving the report, deputies begin searching the area north of North Plains and find a truck they learn that was stolen. A short time later, deputies find Ben in the same area, and he is then taken into custody on unrelated charges and warrants in addition to charges connected with the stolen truck. Search teams searched diligently on December 24th and 25th, but could not locate Allison. On the morning of December 26th, the search areas expand with nearly 100 people looking for Allison, including volunteers searching. Late in the afternoon on December 26th, Washington County Sheriff's Office Search and Rescue Coordinator Tony Morris says searchers found some very interesting items and clues. He did not specify what the clues were. He stated the search on Friday would be refocused on certain areas that has already been looked into, and only trained personnel would be part of that search. On Friday morning, December 27th, the search enters its fourth day with search and rescue teams from the Washington County Sheriff's Office, Multnomah County Sheriff's Office, Clackamas County Sheriff's, and Columbia County Sheriff's Office helping out. December 27th, around noon, at a press conference, Morris states he's not sure where the hiking theory came from, but investigators don't think it's likely Allison and Ben were hiking in the area at all. At the same press conference, Allison's mother, Misty, states Allison and Ben were visiting a friend on the 22nd of December. She said their car broke down. They went to go get help, and somehow they were separated. But let me remind everyone, She's only telling what she was told by Ben. The sheriff's office later declines to confirm Misty's description of events. Also on the 27th of December, deputies reveal they are seeking residents in the search area who may have heard a knock around midnight on December 22nd on their doors. They had stated that the homeowners may not have answered the door due to the time of night, and if the situation sounded familiar to any resident, they were asking them to call the sheriff's office. The same day, it was said that the investigators are still unsure as to what had happened to Allyson, and they are keeping an open mind. I'm going to take a wild guess and say they do not believe a word Ben has told them. December 28th, after an all-day effort with between 75 and 100 trained searchers, the sheriff's office calls off the official search. Even though an active search had been called off, the investigation into Allyson's disappearance still continues. After Allyson was reported missing that Monday, search and rescue personnel searched the rough wooded terrain with dogs, ATVs, and helicopters looking for her. But unfortunately, there was no sign of her. According to the sheriff's office, Allyson had a Wi-Fi only cell phone, which makes it impossible to ping any tower. Misty has stated in a few interviews she had given her daughter the phone because her phone was broken she had previously received. It was only able to be used with Wi-Fi and could not be used for calling without Wi-Fi due to their calling plan with a different phone on it. After 5 days of searching, the Washington County Sheriff's Office called off the official search, and Deputy Mark Pavoni said that although the active search has been called off, the investigation into Allyson's disappearance would still continue. Despite the search being called off, Misty, Allyson's mother, has stated, "Allyson, I will never stop looking for you," and she has asked everyone else to please not stop looking for her daughter. She's a very special girl and she deserves to be looked for. The Sheriff's Department is asking anyone in the area if they have seen the red 2001 Ford F-150 between Sunday afternoon and Monday night, 12/23/2019. Please call the tip line at 503-846-2700. The Washington County Sheriff's Office has confirmed that some of the items belonging to Allyson Watterson have been recovered from a rural area in Washington County. Someone reported seeing something near Pumpkin Ridge Road and reported it to the authorities. A detective with the Sheriff's Office has confirmed this development, but did not specify what was found or the exact location. Authorities searched the surrounding areas, but said they did not find anything else. With a time delay, it's possible Allyson is no longer in the area. Law enforcement wants everybody, whether they are in the immediate search locations or in the surrounding area, to be aware of what Allyson looks like, the clothes that she was wearing, and to be checking their property and trail cameras during those time frames, even if they are not right in the specific area law enforcement was focused on. January 3rd, a group of about 25 people, from family members to friends of the Watterson family, set out to search for any clues into Allyson's disappearance. They have been conducting their searches over and over since the official search was discontinued. They have raised money through fundraisers and has hired special trained search dogs and a private investigator, but still haven't located Allyson. The family has a $5,000 reward fund for information that will lead to Allyson being located and brought home. Benjamin Hunter Garland was sentenced to 3 years in prison on multiple charges on April 8, 2020. Benjamin Hunter Garland pled guilty to unauthorized use of a motor vehicle, fraudulent use of a credit card, and second-degree theft. Additionally, his probation was revoked on charges of unlawful use of a weapon, attempted coercion, fourth-degree assault, and a change of a firearm identification number. Ben was then sentenced to 3 years in prison. The plea agreement marks the closure of 3 separate cases pending against him. In addition to his prison sentence, Ben was also ordered to serve 2 years of post-prison supervision after he is released. He will be transferred to the Oregon Department of Corrections to begin serving his sentence. Misty and Allison's father have posted thousands of flyers around the Oregon coast as they call on anyone with any information of Allison's whereabouts to contact authorities. So many questions go unanswered, especially after the bizarre behavior Ben and Allison displayed during that weekend as they made their way place to place, telling different stories to different people so they could use a phone. It's not clear if Allison was an accomplice to the truck being stolen or if they were on some kind of drug to cause their erratic behavior. It has been mentioned by several people that Allison has been missing before, but later found after her mother has asked for help locating her. It's been said that Allison's iPad was recovered and there was video of the party Allison and Ben were at. Allison's mother later received the iPad back from law enforcement, and this is just speculation, of course, about the iPad. Bill and Charlie's property connect through a path. They essentially back up to each other. It's been said Ben knows those woods like the back of his hand. Could it be possible Allison has just left on her own? As guilty as Ben seems in Alice's disappearance, why would he give her his shoes? And who were the other 2 guys he claimed that left him that night? And do they know where Allison is? Or did she wander deeper into the dark and mysterious wilderness that night after Ben left her? Did Ben cause her disappearance? Allison's family and friends are grieving terribly and need some sort of answers. Allison is described as a white female, 20 years old, with brown hair and blue eyes. She is approximately 5'7" and weighing approximately 120 pounds. If you have seen Allison or know any information about her whereabouts, please call the tip line at 503-846-2700. Like us and subscribe to our channel for further updates. And join us on our Facebook page, The Missing Truth. Allison's case is far from over. It's just the beginning. Remember, there is always some sort of truth that remains in a lie.